caused the sun and moon to shine. And I'm so glad you're mine. Oh, how I'm glad you're singing mine. And all of you amazed at the things you're holy, worthy, who was slain for me. We stand in awe of you, amazed at the things you're holy, worthy, who was slain for me. Oh, no one compares. You are the great I am, no one compares. There is none like you nowhere, no one. Yeah, say you're made, you're made. No one compares, no one compares. You are Lord of Lords, no one. Yeah, say you're made, you're made. You died on Calvary for a wretch like me. I didn't deserve it, but you died. But that's not how the story ends. 3 days later, for me you rose. You're amazing, you're amazing. I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. You're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing.
All right, once again, we're here to bring you the word of the Lord. How, church family? How are you doing? My name is Reverend Rollins. I'm the pastor of the Union Missionary Baptist Church of Milledgeville, Georgia, 135 Prosser Road, Northeast Milledgeville, Georgia, 31067. My theme, as the theme always, you can't repent too soon, but too soon may be too late. Well, we want to share a word with you, and we're grateful for my grandson, Joe, who was singing that song of praise and who do all of my work for me when I am recording. Today, I want to deal with something that we need to think about, and I want to deal from two different translations of the Bible. Look with me, if you please, from Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. This is the King James Version. And let me tell you something, it is something that is hard to understand. So we're going to be reading from one strip, and then the other, we would do a paraphrase from the Living Bible. The 12th chapter, beginning at the first verse through the 8th verse. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw near, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars are not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong man shall bow themselves, and the grinders shall cease, because they are few. And those that look out of the windows are darkened, and the doors shall be shut in. The streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the doors of music shall be brought low. Also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desires shall fail. Because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. Or ever the silver cord is loose, or the golden bows is broken, or the pitcher is broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the center. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it. I hope you will get something out of that. But let's just see how it's paraphrased, and we would get a better understanding. The 12th chapter, once again, beginning the first verse. This is the Living Bible. Don't let the excitement of being young cause you to forget about your Creator. Honor him in your youth before the evil years come, when you're no longer enjoying living. It will be too late then to try to remember him when the sun and the light and the moon and the stars are dim to your old eyes, and there's no silver lining left among your clouds. For there will come a time when your limbs will tremble with age, and your strong legs will become weak, and your teeth will be too few to do their work, and there will be blindness too. Then let your lips be tight closed while eating, while your teeth are gone, and you will waken at dawn with the first note of the birds. But yourself will be deaf and tuneless with quivering voice. You will be afraid of height and of falling. A white-haired, withered old man dragging himself along without sexual desires, standing at death's door and nearing his everlasting home as the mourners go along the streets. Yes, remember your Creator now while you are young, before the silver cord of life snaps and the golden bowl is broken and the pitcher is broken at the fountain and the wheels is broken at the cylinder, and the dust returned to the earth as it was, and the spirit returned to God who gave it. Let us think about those things. We just want to leave a thought with you today, and maybe we can pick at this thing where it can make some sense. What happens to our youth in these end times? What is really happening to the youth of the generation today and the generation to come and the last and evil days, which we call the end times? I have noticed in these end times the suicide rate among the youth is at an all-time high. Depression, bullying, the teaching of immoral, teaching in our school system that two men make the family, two women make the family. Well, the question must be asked then, which dad is the mom? And which mom is the dad? how will the children know who is or what is right? Morality is at an all-time low. Our children have been lied to about history, about family, etc. Our youth learn about false history and false values. Drugs have taken the place of family values. Mother and father working, and our children are raising themselves. What really is happening to our children in these end times? Drugs are taking the place of true happiness. Street pimps are taking the place of true family. Our youth are influenced by crooks and criminals because mom and dad are not at home. Our schools have become prison rather than a place of learning. It has become a war zone of killing and shooting one another. Teenage pregnancy at the age from 13 to 18. What are they to do? Who do they turn to? Sports supersedes academic skills. Be a basketball player, be a football player, but what about a scientist? What about a doctor? What about a lawyer? What about an engineer? We teach the value of money, but never teach on the values of serving God. What do or will our children trust in? I thought about it and I think about it every day. Our churches and priests and preachers have failed our youth. Who do they turn to? Our churches have somewhat failed them when preachers and priests are molesting our young folk. Our teachers turn their backs in disgust, even in the teaching system. Who will teach our youth about God? Where will our children turn, or who will they turn to? When they hear parents say, I'll be glad when school starts, rather than I will be glad when we can have family time. I'll be glad when we can get together on vacation where all of us can enjoy one another. See, what you must understand, school is not a babysitting institution. It is a place of learning. How can we teach our youth about God when our school, our job have taken the place of our parents? The writer of this book teaches us to do not forget the Creator in their youth. Don't forget God, the Creator of man. Don't forget about God, the Creator of the universe. Don't forget about God, who is the Creator of all things. Our youth must be taught by godly people, not institutions of learning, but it is the responsibility of parents to teach them the moral issues of God. If they are not taught about God, a God that will stand by them in a time of need, in a time of trouble. We need to tell them about a God of love, not a God of jet planes and how much riches we can get. Our youth need to know a God that will stick by them when they're going through their trials, when they're going through their mishaps. Teach them about a God who will stand by them in death, in sickness, etc. Teach them here's a God who will love you even if you are poor. He loves you even if you are rich. And then we got to allow them to understand being poor does not mean that God does not love you. We need to tell them that there will be trouble in life. Job, the writer of his book, said in the Bible, man is born of woman and is full of trouble. Well, we need to teach our youth that there is hope even in these critical times, even in the plagues, even in the floods, even in the fires, even in the drug happenings, even when blacks are being shot down by police, even when death knocks on the door, we need to teach them and say to them, honor God in your youth before the evil time comes. Now, the evil time is not only speaking of the days that we're living in now, it's talking about a time when you too will get old as I am. When you are no longer enjoying life like you used to. There will be a time, and this is what the paraphrase was saying, there will be a time when your youth will leave you. And the youth, you will get old. And your remembrance will be slow. And your footsteps will slow down. And your eyes will become dim. Don't think because you're young now, you're not going to get like some of us. Oh yeah, our memory is not the same. Our eyesight is not the same. Our footsteps are not the same. Oh, we don't hear like we used to. We don't understand like we used to. But when we was young, we thought that we will be young always. But even in your youth, you need to understand that you need a God that even while you're young, one day you too will be old. And you're going to need a God that when your eyes are dim, when your footsteps are slow, when your ears can no longer hear as you used to, when your limbs become weak, and your voice will not be as strong as it once has, you're going to need a God to stand by your side. You're going to need a God to instruct you with wisdom. You're going to need a God that you can call on, knowing that God will hear and answer prayer. Oh yeah, we need to tell you in your youth that one day your hair will turn gray and death will stalk you down. Remember your Creator while you're still young. Remember God in your youth and now in your old age. Prepare yourself while God is near. What you will need to understand, and I know you're going through bullying and drugs all around you, and seeing your friends killed, and domestic violence, and no job, and diseases everywhere. And it seems as though there's trouble, trouble, trouble. Even in the school, even in the church, even in the community, there's nothing but trouble. But who can you turn to? You need to turn to an almighty God. Yeah, you need to prepare yourself where God is near. Give God your time, service, and life. So when you are my age, when you are old, you will remember the God of your youth, the God who stood by you. So when you was ready to shoot up, when you was ready to pop that pill, when you was ready to get drunk, or when you was ready to rob somebody, the God of your youth, with the Holy Spirit in you, spoke to you and told you, I am your provider, I am your happiness, I will be the one who will stand by you and chase depression out of your life, and I will make the bullets become your friend. Yeah, you don't have to worry about death when you are in God or dying, knowing that you have served him in your youth until your old age. In death, when you shall return back to dust, your spirit shall return to God, who has given it, and your fear will be no more. Why? Because you obeyed God, and you followed God, you lived for God, and you was following in his commandments. And so you have nothing to fear. We know we're going to die. God never told you you wouldn't die. God never told you you wouldn't suffer. God never told you you wouldn't have problems. But the thing I like about it, God said that I will be with you. If you are a child of God, God will be with you. I'd rather be with God going through my suffering. I would rather be with God in my youth, watching other folk dying of overdoses, knowing that he will keep me strong. So we need to understand about this God of our youth. So I say to the families, teach your youth the way of the Lord. Teach them and show them the love of God. Teach them and show them that success does not necessarily make you happy. You can have all the money in the world and be miserable. And all the money in the world can't stop death. You can't buy death off. But if you got God, if you have your creator, if you have your maker, if you have the one that have created the universe, God can speak a word. Let me tell you what's happening. Can you recall a time when death should have overtaken you? But God stepped in right on time. So we need to serve the God of our youth. It is God alone who can bless you beyond measure. And so we who are parents, we who are preachers, we who are godly need to teach them that God love offered them peace. God love is security. God love gives us grace. God love offers us protection. He will be, and he is, as days of old, a battle axe in a time of battle. Those of you who may not understand being young, but I want you to know one thing. If you can remember what your parents told you, those who have godly parents, can you remember what your preacher or pastor might have told you if you have godly preachers? That God is and will be a problem solver. He is a God that devils and bullies flee from. a mighty counselor. So when you need him and you need someone to talk to, here's a friend who will never tell others about your secrets. He is a God that the end generation soon will turn to. I know you're young now, and we're living in these troubled times. We're living in these last days, but you can't depend on drugs. You can't depend on robbing somebody. Depend on God. He is a friend and a company keeper. He is a burden bearer. He is a mind revelator and a heart, yes, fixer. He is who he is. And he will love you if, and he already loves you, but when you confess your sins to him, and when you can believe on him, and when you can believe that this same God took your place on the cross. He suffered for you, died for you, was buried, stayed in a borrowed grave for 3 days and nights, and then got up on a third day morning, not with some power, but all power, which was given to him over heaven and earth. And so you need to remember the Creator in your youth. Don't forget about him. Every day you're growing old. Every day you're dying. And remember, he will be the God of your youth. The God who will give you life for your old age. And so preachers and family members and grandfathers and godly grandmothers and godly parents tell the youth that God is all they need. Tell them that you will solve their problem. Tell them God will fix it. He will make, I don't care what you've done, I don't care if you've been in jail, I don't care if you have a record, I don't care if people talk about you. God will, when you give your life to him, make your life brand new. And so I say in my conclusion today, let us love our youth. Let us teach our youth to live a holy life, that God will keep you. Live a holy life, so God will bless you with wisdom from on high. Live a holy life, so God will reveal himself to you and save you from all of your sin, so you won't have to worry. And so what I say to you today, remember God, your Creator, in your youth. Remember him. Rejoice in him. Serve him. Praise him. Pray to him. Live for him, knowing that one day you will be old, because you are a child of God. And then remember this too. Stop laughing at old folk like me, because one day your hair too will be turning gray. One day your footstep too will be slow. But know one thing, as the writer said in the Living Bible, that when your footsteps are getting slow, when your limbs are not functioning right, just know one thing, that you can thank God that you served him in your youth, and you are serving him now, and that one day when your time come to die, yes, when your time come to die, your spirit will go back to the Lord, and you can hear him say, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Until next time, let us say, love God and remember your Creator and your youth, so your old days will be sunny, blessed, and bright. Good day.